parts of the world stage. This is Sports Echo.
And he's in! A goal in 50 seconds from Milan. Oh, would you believe it? Paolo Maldini, the skipper, has scored it. Here's Kaka. Lifted into Shevchenko. He's onside this time. He's got Crespo in support. Here's Hernan Crespo, 2-0. Hernan Crespo. Look at that from Kaka. And what a pass too for Crespo. And what a goal that is. What a goal that is. Hernan Crespo again. Sublime pass by Kaka. Towards Gerrard! Hello! Hello! Here we go! Steven Gerrard puts a grain of doubt in the back of Milan minds and gives hope to all the many thousands of Liverpool fans.
Good afternoon, sport lovers. This is Sport Echoes on Melody 100.7 FM. On this show, we dive deep into stories behind the scores, the legends, the heartbreaks, the breakthroughs, and the unforgettable moments that shape sports as we know it today. And there's also the quiz segment where I ask questions, and if you get them, you're going to win something. Alright, from Nigerian golden goals to Olympic shocks to African giants that shook the world stage, this show is your backstage pass to the past. We're going to be bringing you facts, voices, memories, and maybe even a few cheers as we relive the moments that made fans scream, nations proud, and history take note. So whether you're in traffic or at home or you're just chilling with your radio, I promise you this, after today, you will never see sports the same way again. Alright, I welcome you in the name of the chairman of Melody FM, Prophet Sam Adebayo Ojo Baba Authority, and also the producer of this show, Pretty the Finest Adegoke. Now, big ups to the guys doing justice to DIZ, Omo Iyaile, so Wale right there. Omo Iyaile, so is the studio manager on duty, and for engineer Wale, yes, it's the engineer on duty. And also Auntie Fee in the building. Oops, I forgot. The general manager of Melody 100.7 FM, Ediola Afolabi, the sports marshal. Yes, so today is his birthday. The sports marshal himself. 2024, yeah, just a brief story. 2024, when I started this whole journey, the first person who gave me the platform was Kenny Bamidele. And anytime we have conversations about sports, he would always tell me, bro, I learned a lot from my boss. Sometimes when I argue with him and I tell him that, oh, I think the sports show, my analysis today wasn't bad. He said, no, you've not met my boss. He would tell you something of 1930, 1925. And one day I asked him, I was curious. I said, who is that boss? And he mentioned Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal. The sports marshal was what got me intrigued. So I went on Facebook to check who the sports marshal is. I saw a lot of stories. I wasn't seeing something related to sports. It was just stuff of US, UK, and all of this foreign news. Then he told me, then I went back to Kenny Bamidele and he told me that, you know what, the sports marshal is all about administration now. He's left it for the boys. And one shocking thing was, it was Kenny Bamidele that recommended me to Eniola Afolabi, who is the sports marshal. So I would say my career so far is more like a 3, from Eniola Afolabi to Kenny Bamidele and to Bobola Egunfemi. So without Kenny Bamidele, there wouldn't have been a Bobola, maybe in sport broadcasting, and without Eniola Afolabi, there wouldn't have been a Kenny Bamidele. So happy birthday to the sports marshal. Long life and prosperity, my boss. Alright, I'm Akinbobola Egunfemi. Welcome aboard.
Ramos. Ronaldo! Ramos and he's offside. Wow, that's all you need. A great touch.
Lovely touch. Lampard! Brilliant! It was in now. Here we go. Oh, it's so...
It's Malouda's kick in towards Scalacci and Henry's in there to follow it in, and Gallas was there from close range, and suddenly the French... Lampard takes the corner and Czech was up there and got ahead to it. Ballack has a rattle, a handball appeal.
The referee from Norway is the strongest official you can put down. This is supposed to be.
Ramos. Ronaldo! And he's offside. Wow, that's all you need. A great touch.
Lovely touch. Lampard! Brilliant! It was in now. Here we go. Oh, it's so.
It's Malouda's kick in towards Scalacci, and Henry's in there to follow it in, and Gallas was there from close range, and suddenly the French.
Lampard takes the corner, and Czech was up there and got a head to it. Ballack has a rattle, a handball appeal.
The referee from Norway is the strongest official you can put down. This is supposed to be.
So yesterday on the cruise show, while I was having a show with Peter the Fidels, that's the sports segment of the cruise show, that's 6 to 7. I'd already prepared my scripts for Sport Echoes because it was all about legends of the game. So in the process, in the show, he kept on asking me about referees' decision during the AFCON. And I felt like, at this point in time, let's talk about referees. Hence the topic, referees, rules and controversies that shaped sport. So today's topic is referees, rules and controversies that shaped sport. So in sports, we celebrate goals, we celebrate titles, we celebrate trophies. But sometimes history is decided not by skill. So history is decided not by skill, not by talent, and not even by hard work. So most of the time it's by a whistle. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into part of sports we love to argue about. Just like I said, referees, rules and controversy. Because whether we like it or not, some of the biggest moments in sport history were shaped not by players on the pitch, but by officials watching them. A goal that crossed the line but wasn't given, a handball that everyone saw except the referee, a penalty awarded in the dying minute, a medal lost, a title gone, a nation heart broken. But today's conversation is not about attacking referees. Special thumbs up to all the referees out there. And it's not about saying that these officials are wicked or biased. I'm just going to be talking about the impact of referees on sports. Now, how decisions change careers, how controversies forced the rule changes, and how sports evolved because something once went terribly wrong. I'm certain many people remember the hand of God, that's Maradona. I remember the 2008 Barca-Chelsea semi-final where Didier Drogba said it's a disgrace. Poor officiating. I remember Lampard pursuing the referee. And we also talk about controversial judging at the Olympics. Now, before I dive into that, let's talk about the power of the whistle. Now, when we talk about sport heroes, we talk about goal scorers, match winners, record breakers. Rarely do we talk about the man or woman with the whistle, yet in almost every sport, the referee is the only person on the field whose decision cannot be appealed in real time. So once the whistle goes, play stops, arguments begin. So in football, they call referee the 23rd man. Remember, there are 22 players on the pitch, but the referee is the 23rd man. And that 23rd man is the most important player on the pitch. In athletics, a false start can end 4 years of preparation in 1 second. And that's power, that's the authority these referees have. Now think about it, players train their entire lives for moments that last seconds. But one decision from an official can erase all of it. Now remember the just concluded AFCON. When the referee gave a penalty to Morocco, just one person confused the whole stadium. Now we have supporters of Senegal being locked up at the camp of Morocco just because of one decision. Even the Senegal manager thought he had to call out his players just because of the 23rd man. Over the years, referees have shaped some of the most talked about moments in sport history. You talk about the 1966 World Cup final, a goal awarded that many still argue never crossed the line. Until today, that was the only trophy, that was the only World Cup England ever won. And it's still full of controversies. I'm going to play the clip today. Talk about AFCON matches where a single call turned Euros into villains, and also sparked debates that lasted long after the final whistle. In boxing, bouts where the crowd knew who won, but the scorecard said something else. This is why referees are often described as invisible power brokers. They are not meant to be seen, but when controversy happens, they become the headline. They make split-second decisions at full speed with millions watching in slow motion later. And that's where the problem begins, because fans don't remember the 100 correct calls. They remember that one mistake, that one whistle that changed the final, that one decision that ended the dream, that one moment that rewrote history. Now, which raises a big conversation for tonight's conversation, that should referees simply enforce the rules, or do they end up influencing the outcome of the game? That's one of the big questions I would be asking the callers today. And when controversies happen, is it just injustice, or is just part of sports drama? Now, talking about the rules that changed the game. Yeah, one thing sport echoes teaches is rules don't change because everything is perfect. Rules change because something went wrong. So rules don't change because everything is perfect, but rules change because something went wrong. Maybe that was why we saw VAR coming into the game, because something went wrong. There's been controversies from 1996, 1966, I beg your pardon. We also talk about the semi-final where Barca and Chelsea Football Club played. Maybe all of those things sparked the old changes that brought about the VAR, that's the video assistant referee. So rules changed because something went wrong. Every major rule we see today was born out of controversies, exploitation, or outright injustice. And once upon a time, many of these rules we now take for granted simply didn't exist. Now let's start with football. In the late 1980s and the early 1990s, football had a problem. Teams were winning, but fans were bored. So goalkeepers then, they were allowed to pick up back passes from teammates, so defenders would simply roll the ball back. Goalkeepers would pick it up, waste time, slow the game, and matches became predictable, frustrating, sometimes even unwatchable. Then in 1992, football authorities stepped in. The back pass rule was introduced. From that moment, goalkeepers could no longer pick up deliberate passes from their own teammates. That single rule did three massive things. It increased pressing, it forced goalkeepers to learn ball control, and it also made football faster and more exciting. So in 1992, that was when the back pass rule was introduced. So modern football goalkeepers, they exist because of this rule. Another rule that reshaped a football is the offside rule. Originally, attackers only had to be behind the ball. Over the time, teams abused the rule. So many people said maybe that was why Pele was scoring too many goals. Players would simply stand near the goal waited. So the strikers will allow the midfielders, the defenders to do the job and just wait at the back and score that goal. So then the offside rule evolved to encourage movement, passing, and even intelligent play. And even still today, it's still debated. We are still seeing people call the offside rule. Many players, even fans, even now, they would have to check your body, check your legs, check your hands. It's still debated. So these rules will continue to evolve. Definitely. And just like I said earlier, the VAR had to make sure we argue about it even more. So we also saw the introduction of the video assistant referees. And also goal line technology, a direct response to injustice. Now remember, just like I said earlier, the 1966 World Cup final we talked about earlier, that controversy lived for decades, and then came another reminder in 2010, Frank Lampard's goal against Germany that clearly crossed the line. But that goal wasn't given. Football had reached a breaking point, so finally goal line technology was introduced. Not to change football, but to protect it from obvious errors. And to answer simple questions like, did the ball cross the line or not? And not just football alone, even in basketball had its own crisis. In the early days of the NBA, teams with a lead would just hold the ball, no urgency, no attacks, no entertainment. Fans complained, attendance dropped. And then came the shot clock in basketball. It's called the shot clock. Suddenly, teams had limited time to shoot, pace increased, skill mattered. Excitement returned. The shot clock didn't just change the basketball, it saved it. And then came the three-pointer line. A risky idea at first, but it transformed the game. Smaller players became stars. As spacing improved, tactics evolved. Maybe we would have seen a Steph Curry if the three-point line wasn't introduced. Because that man, his shots are banger from 3 points. Steph Curry. Also in tennis too. Tennis also faced constant disputes, line calls, arguments, players versus umpires. So in tennis, we also saw the likes of Hawk-Eye technology. So it's called Hawk-Eye technology. For the first time, players could challenge calls with evidence. Accuracy improved, trust improved. And one thing you should notice, rules don't change randomly. Something must have sparked a rule to come up. It doesn't just change randomly. So some of the things that change the rules are fans, they lose interest. Also players, they lost faith, or injustice becomes too loud to ignore. So rules are not just laws of the game, they are apologies for past mistakes, promises to do better, and attempts to protect the future of sport. So every new rule also creates new arguments, new controversies, and new debates. Because in sports, perfection is the goal, but controversy is always part of the game, is always part of the journey. No matter the rules that come up, fans will still always complain. New rules today, even with the VAR, we still see fans complain about Chelsea, Liverpool, and also the Real Madrid Barca football. Because everybody has a particular club they support and they want it to be perfect all the time. But you know one thing, I trust sports. Controversy is always part of the journey. And for me, sometimes I even love these controversies because it makes the game interesting. People want to see all of the calls. I mean, what are we going to be talking about when it comes to analysis? Recently on TV, I saw a show. It's called The Referee's Check. I mean, these guys just do analysis of the referees in the Premier League. Just because perfection is the goal and controversy is always part of the journey. Now let's talk about the iconic controversies. Some of the most iconic controversies where we saw referees doing their thing. Just like I said, we are not here to criticize or abuse referees. Just here to talk about the game. There are moments in sports that never really end. The final whistle blows, the stadium empties, trophies are lifted, but the argument lives forever. These are the moments fans still fight over in viewing centers, on radio shows like this, and also on social media decades later. Anytime you see Daniel and I arguing on the show, sometimes it's all about the referees. I could have a different opinion, and Daniel on his own part, maybe he has another opinion about some of the calls. I remember the final, Senegal against Morocco. He wasn't even on the show, but we're having a discussion. I had a different point of view, and Daniel also had his own point of view, and we tried to trash it out. But we never always come to a common ground, so we just had to leave that matter. Alright, so the first controversy was the 1966 World Cup final controversy. So the date, July 30th, 1966, in the famous Wembley Stadium. And there, over 90,000 fans watching, millions more listening around the world. So it was England versus West Germany, the biggest game in football, the World Cup final. And at the center of it all, a moment that would divide football forever. The match was tied 2-2 in extra time. Tension everywhere. One goal could decide the World Cup. Then it happened. England's Geoff Hurst struck the ball. It smashed against the crossbar, and it bounced down and came out. So Geoff Hurst struck the ball. It smashed against the crossbar, bounced down and came out. Goal or no goal? That was the questions flying left, right and center. The referee hesitated. He looked to his assistant referee, Tofik Baramov. That's the name of the assistant referee, Tofik Baramov of the Soviet Union. Now, after a brief discussion, the decision was made. Goal given. England took the lead. They would go on to win 4-2, and to this day, it remains England's only World Cup title. And for so many people, they become that today that maybe that's why England have not won any World Cup title, even with the squad that they boast of. Just because some people claim that he cheated in 1966. Like we say, it's a local palace. Ojoro know they win football. But here is the controversy, and this is where history argued it with itself. Replays, they later showed the ball hit the crossbar, bounced down, and may not have fully crossed the line. Now, according to the rules of football, the entire ball must cross the entire line. For a goal to be awarded, the entire ball must cross the entire line. So in 1966, there was no VAR, no goal line technology, no slow motion from 10 angles, just one referee, one assistant, and a split-second judgment. For England, it was destiny fulfilled. But for Germany, their opponent, it was daylight robbery. And for football, it became one of the most debated moments of all time. So decades later, technology was used to analyze the incident. Many studies suggested the ball did not fully cross the line. But here's the thing about sport history: results are never changed. The medal stays, the trophy stays, the argument lives forever. This simple decision did more than decide a World Cup. It didn't just decide a World Cup, it planted a seed. A seed that would later grow into the goal line technology, a system designed to answer the exact question that the referee faced in 1966. So it was what prompted the goal line technology, something of 1966. So when goal line technology was finally introduced decades later, it wasn't just innovation. It was football admitting we got this wrong before and we can't afford to do that again. So the World Cup 1966 final teaches us something powerful. Referees don't just control games, they shape errors, and one whistle, one decision can echo through the history of generations. Another controversial World Cup is the Hand of God 1986 World Cup. So it was in Mexico 1986 World Cup quarterfinal, Argentina versus England. Diego Maradona, he rose to challenge the goalkeeper. The ball went into the net. Goal given, but replay shows something else. It wasn't Maradona's head, it was his hand of God. The referee didn't see it, the assistant didn't flag it, and just like that, one of the most illegal goals in football history was written in folklore. For late Diego Maradona, he would call it a little with the head of Maradona, a little with the head of Maradona, and a little with the hand of God. So for Maradona, it's destined. Oh my God. For Argentina, it was genius. For England, it was theft. And for football, it became the ultimate example of how referees, blind spot can change history. You know what? Let's listen to a clip. It was the goalkeeper of England at that time in 1986. He said he would never forgive Diego Maradona. You know what? Stay tuned. This is Melody 100.7 FM. Let's listen to the clip.
Just the last from me. You are one of the main characters of this iconic moment in the Azteca with Diego Maradona.
Yes.
30 years after, how do you feel about this game?
Well, I still don't feel very good about it. Although, and even worse, because the linesman, I think, who should have seen it, said he did see it. Unfortunately, he passed away recently, and he said he saw it, but for some reason he couldn't put his flag up because of the rules. So that didn't help either. So we're obviously hard done to, and it was one of those moments. But people still remember it, and I've still not forgiven Diego Maradona. So, Diego,
have you spoken with him?
No, I've never met him. But I'll be a little bit like Terry Butcher. I don't think I'll be over the moon to shake hands with him, not only because he cheated. I mean, goalkeepers cheat, pull the ball back, players have cheated. Things happen in football. But I think after the game, you apologise and you say, look, it's just something that happened at the time, and I got away with it. So the sportsmanship side wasn't there.
So that was the referee of That was the goalkeeper of England. Shilton is his name. So in his word, he said, "I can't forgive Maradona for hand of God." And he also said that the assistant referee saw the ball. He admitted I saw it, but he just couldn't blow for some certain reasons. You can imagine, after so many years, even the goalkeeper of England still haven't forgiven Diego Maradona. He hasn't forgiven Diego Maradona. In his word, he said that was lack of sportsmanship. That's what a referee can do in the game of football. Alright, leaving that and straight to Thierry Henry Thierry Henry versus Ireland 2009. Fast forward to 2009 World Cup playoff, France versus Republic of Ireland. Extra time, one mistake decides qualification. Thierry Henry controlled the ball with his hand, not once but twice. The goal stood. France qualified for the World Cup, and for Ireland, they were out. The outrage was instant. FIFA admitted it was wrong, but did nothing about it. No replay, no correction, no justice. That controversy became one of the loudest arguments for introducing technology into football. Alright, let's listen to Thierry Henry as he talks about the controversial refereeing decision.
The reaction of the team of Senegal wanting to leave the field was wrong. That's not the image that it happened. The ref didn't blow the whistle. I wasn't proud of it. Still not proud of it.
Trying to measure it. Richard Dunn lost out. Oh, Henry! Oh, it's in the net. It's a goal.
I think the Irish players are appealing for a handball here.
I was just in shock. I was actually looked to the referee just to take a free kick because it was that blatant. You know, that was a double handball, and it was so blatant. I was like, I'm taking a free kick, and I looked up, and the rest pointed to the halfway line. Oh my God, you're joking! I looked at the linesman. He's running to the halfway line, and I'm like, no way, this is not happening.
But there's the handball by Henry.
By the way, not just once, George, but twice.
And the lads were like just chucking boots at the screen and all sorts, like, and it was just not a happy place.
Oh, that's a handball, no question about it. And France have stolen the lead on aggregate.
That's what you do as a player. Sorry, you have that bad reaction, that bad moment that you extend your arm. I didn't think about it happened. But then after that, the abuse that I got, I received letters, death threats. My daughter had to go to school with a bodyguard for 2 weeks because I was scared. We know where you live.
That was Thierry Henry. He said they sent him death threats. In fact, his daughter had to go to school with 2 bodyguards just because of what happened against Ireland in 2009. The World Cup player where France played against the Republic of Ireland, and Thierry Henry controlled the ball with his hand. Not once, but twice. Now, just before I head to the quiz segment where I ask questions, Chelsea versus Barcelona 2009 Champions League. You know, one shocking thing is the same year when Thierry Henry has had that issue with Ireland, that handball situation with Ireland, because it was in 2009. So it's a Chelsea and Barcelona 2009 Champions League. Penalty appeals ignored, clear handballs waved away, the decisions piling up. When Barcelona scored late, The focus wasn't the goal, it was the referees. Chelsea players surrounded him. Fans still describe that night as one of the worst officiated matches in modern football. That single match destroyed trust between players and officials at the highest level. Now, I remember that game vividly. All Chelsea players were pursuing the referee. Lampard, Drogba. Then after the game, Diego Drogba went in front of the camera and he was like, it's a disgrace. I don't like Chelsea too much, but honestly, that game wasn't fair enough. But that's the power of referees. Alright, it's time for the quiz segment where I ask questions, and if you get them, you're gonna win something. So the studio lines are 07025201107, 07025201107. You can as well call 07055071107. 07055071107. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
This is James from Ogumakin.
What did you call your name again?
James.
James.
Yes.
How are you doing today, James?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Very fine, thank you. Pick a number from 1 to 20.
Number 20. Number 20.
Number 20.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the last. Okay, who is the youngest player to ever score in the UEFA Champions League? Youngest player to score in the UEFA Champions League game.
Lami Yamal.
It's not Lami Yamal. It's not Lami Yamal. One more try. Also played for Barca.
Lionel Messi.
No, you're wrong. It's Ansu Fati. Yeah, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Michael from Gate.
Good afternoon, Michael from Gate. About to win again.
Yes.
Okay. Pick a number from 1 to 20. Number 20 is gone.
For the first time this year.
This year, definitely. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, they are giving number 1.
Number 1. Which African country was the first to qualify for a FIFA World Cup?
FIFA World Cup?
Yeah.
Is that Egypt?
Don't ask me that. Just give me a perfect answer.
Okay, Egypt.
Hey! You're correct. It's Egypt.
Yes.
Congrats. So I'll read out my number. We'll talk after the show.
Thank you.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Abdul Malik from Ijebu.
Abdul Malik from Ijebu. How are you doing today?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay, so pick a number from...
Number 10.
Number 10. Okay. So who is the highest scoring African player in the Premier League history?
Mo Salah.
Huh?
Mohamed Salah.
Call his name again.
Mo Salah.
Okay, so you're correct. Congrats. So you said Muhammadu is Mohamed Salah.
Salah, yes, Mo Salah.
All right. So you're correct.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Jacob from Odiferu.
Mr. Jacob, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Please, before I start, I would like to congratulate, happy birthday to Sport Marshal, and also big up to authority, and also I appreciate you. So I would like to pick question number 1.
Number 1. I think someone has picked it already.
Okay. Is question number 2 available?
No.
Okay, which are the numbers?
You can pick from 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay. Question number 4.
Okay, so number 4. Yes. Which player has provided the most assists in Champions League history?
No idea.
All right, so thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
Just because of a time, I would have to pack up because we have to pay some bills. For the final thoughts on today's show, referees are not perfect, but neither are players, neither are coaches, neither are fans perfect. But sports ask referees to be flawless in a game built on chaos. Maybe that's the hardest job of all time. So for sports, it asks referees to be flawless in a game built on chaos. But that's the hardest job of all. A big shout out to all the referees out there. And please always try to make the right calls. Alright, special thanks to the studio manager on duty, that's Omo Iyaeleso, and also the engineer on duty, Amos 33. And yes, to the producer of the show, Preacher the Finest, thank you so much. And the birthday boy, Eniola Afolabi, the sports marshal, thank you. And the chairman of Melody FM, Prophet Sam Adebayo Ojo, Baba Authority. Thank you, sir, for this platform. I do not take it for granted. All right, until later, 3 to 5 p.m. when I come your way again. And just for those that want today, my number is 08111 744 773 08111 744 773. The 2 winners, you can call me. All right, I'm Akinbobola. Egunfemi. Good afternoon.
Melody 100.7 FM.
Gbogbo èyí tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe ayẹyẹ ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan bíi wedding, concert, church crusade, film premiere, tẹ́ nílò indoor LED screen. Iléeṣẹ́ Gold Mender Media ló kájú ẹ̀. Mo ti kó screen dé bíbá lọ́lọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan léyìí tí ìbẹ́ǹtì tí náà fi ṣe dáadáa tí ó fi ṣàánú yàtọ̀. Indoor LED screen tó múlẹ̀ rókòso gbàgbà gidigba. Ṣé ìyá nílò screen fún sẹ́mínà yìí tó ń bọ̀ àbí fún anniversary yìí tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe? Ẹ̀yà tara ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sílé iṣẹ́ Gold Mender Media lọ́dọ̀ wọn nìkan lẹ ti lè rí indoor LED screen tó fọkàn bá